Okay, we're live. Awesome. How are you doing, Trish? Trish, can you hear me? Trish, Trish,
I
can you
don't
hear
know,
me?
Lulu.
Oh my gosh, this is so funny. So I'm here. Oh, she just went away. So I'm actually here with Trish Van Duinen of Black Cat Lashes out in Canada, in Alberta. And we're going to be doing an interview with you guys today with this. Get to know her a little bit. She's actually going to be one of our speakers at the Scottsdale Lash and Brow Conference, which is going to be amazing. So we've asked her and invited her to come and speak. And so what we're going to be talking to you about today is pretty much, sorry about that, adhesives and why it's not just about the humidity. So let me see if I can get her back on here real quick. There she is. Yay! Okay, perfect. I'm pulling you in. Here you are, Trish. Woo, there you go. All right, hun. How are you?
Oh my gosh, fabulous. The sun is shining, which we've had snow for like the past like few days. So this is like amazing. Everything is melting. Everything, the sun is out. It's gorgeous. I love it. How
Oh
you
my
doing,
gosh.
girlfriend?
I'm great. Oh my gosh. I'm still on cloud nine from the conference that we had gone to in Texas. Like, I thought it was so fun.
Yeah, it was
I loved it.
amazing. Yeah, it
And
was
you know,
amazing.
I was just going through my phones and going to like Throwback Thursday type thing since that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I was actually, I had a couple of videos of you when you were on stage. So cute. You did this cute little wiggle thing. You're like, you know how molecules move when water boils? And you're like, this. It was cute. I have to give that to you.
This is why I wear sneakers on stage, so I don't fall when I'm dancing.
Well, you look
And I
great.
like dancing.
It's a new trend. It's perfect. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Well, I want to let our viewers know who you are and what you're about. So we have here with you. So actually, I should probably let them know who I am as well. So actually, I'm gonna go with you, Trish. It's Van Duinen.
It's Van Duinen, yeah.
Van
Close.
Duinen. Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry. I was just call you Trish. So
Yeah, just call me Trish. A lot of people call me Trish Anya because it's easier than Trish Anya Van Duinen.
okay,
Either
that's
one.
good. I was gonna ask that about that. Okay, cool. And you're with Black Cat Lashes, and you guys are located out in Alberta, Canada.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you when did you start Black Cat?
Probably about almost 5 years ago. I'd say 4.5, 5 years ago. I had no idea it was going to blow up the way it did. I
Yeah.
thought I was going to do part-time vet tech, part-time lashing, and then it was like, whoa, lashes have just taken off.
It's huge. It's a huge commodity. It's a luxury
Yeah.
every girl wants. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And so, what made you want to do lashes in the first place? Because I know you used to do something else before this.
Yeah. So I was a vet tech for a long time before this. I've worked with animals pretty much on and off since I was 13 years old. And when I was about 35 or 36, I ended up injuring my shoulder on the job. And my doctor was like, you know what? Your career is over. It's done. And I still tried to vet tech for probably about a year and a half after. But I just remember thinking, like, what else would I want to do that's as cool as my current job? And,
Yeah.
and I was getting lashes at the time. And I was so jealous of my lash lady because she made good money. She worked from home. She made her own hours. There was
Yeah.
hardly any stress. It was just and I loved the way that she made me feel. When I used to I'd wake up from my lash nap and go, "Oh my gosh, I'm gorgeous. I'm a brand new person." And I think I really do feel like I was like, I want to give that to other people. Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh,
You know?
sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think we just cut out here. Hold on. Are you with me now?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Okay, that's really awesome. I know exactly how that is. I hear that from so many girls. It's true. It's a lot easier than working a 9 to 5 sometimes.
I couldn't work in a cubicle.
So, and even though we are here 9 to 5,
I know, but
yeah, it's pretty crazy. Oh my god, that's cool. So, how's the hubby doing? How did he like the trip to Texas?
He is. I think that from a past life, he lived in Texas before. Like, he loves it there. He fits in. He likes the good food, the good people, the nice weather. I mean, there's nothing there's nothing about Texas that you can really complain about. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. I love
Yeah.
Texas.
It's pretty cool. I know. I loved it too. That's awesome. Well, again, for our viewers who are joining us. Hi, guys. We have some viewers, some Facebook guys, everyone who's saying hi. Hi. I'm here again with Trisha. She's from Black Cat Lashes, and I'm Lulu Suberville. I'm with Lashes del Sol and Hygge Beauty, and I'm one of the organizers. I'm organizing the Scottsdale Lash and Brow Conference with my mom. So we're having a conference in April 2020, so next year. That's right. And we've asked Trisha over here, sorry, to come and speak. So she's going to do that for us. And she's going to have a really awesome topic. Really, really cool. Like European versus American lashes, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So perfection versus practicality.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. And that's what she's going to be talking to. And today we're actually going to talk about a different issue. We don't want to take everyone's time, but I wanted to touch up on something that you had spoken on at the conference for Texas Big. And that was adhesives. You had given this whole amazing, awesome speech on adhesives. And I thought it was so important to touch up on that because so many people don't know and don't realize, like, the reality of what's really going on. They listen to just something they just heard, or sometimes it's not even given in trainings for lash courses. So I wanted to touch base with that with you.
Yes.
Specifically, I loved during your talk when you said, guys, it's not just about the humidity.
Oh.
You know? So can you
Temperature is like
yeah, elaborate on that. We want to hear about it. I want everyone to hear about this because I know this, but it's so true.
So I feel like about 3-4 years ago, it started getting really big that people were actually teaching about temperature and humidity, especially humidity, right? Because we all know that our glue cures with water, which is kind of really backwards thinking that we're thinking, because most glues we're thinking you need like air for it to
Right.
dry. But
Exactly.
our adhesive is it cures. It actually doesn't dry like a normal Elmer school glue. It actually cures. And so water is the biggest thing that cures that. So people think about, okay, humidity in the air helps to cure the lashes. So the more humidity in the air, the faster your lashes or your lash adhesive is going to cure or dry, right? The lower it is, the slower it's going to. And that's still true. That's very true. But when we talk about humidity, most of the time we're talking about relative humidity, and I think people kind of forget about that. And so relative humidity, what's it relative to? Temperature. And so
you're where you are.
right, and they're best friends, temperature and humidity. Most of the time, when one goes up, the other one goes up, and when one goes down, the other goes down. So,
Exactly.
and a lot of times too, your humidity, your temperature might be totally squiggly and off, and you might be sweating you might be sweating your pants off, but you're like, okay, my humidity's fine. I don't understand why the glue won't stick, and I'm like, because it's too hot for your glue.
Too hot.
And
Yeah.
usually, if it's too hot or cold for you, it's too hot or cold for your glue. And I think people kind of get stuck in the humidity thing and they forget about the temperature. I actually don't use humidifiers or dehumidifiers with my work. And that shocks a lot. A lot of people go, what? And I'm like, I just turn the AC on or the heat on, depending on where my room is at.
Okay. So it's according to how you feel.
Yeah, exactly. And, other people are like, no way. And I'm like, well, just try it. If you're having adhesive issues, most adhesives have like a range on the back of the temperature they should be used in and the humidity, right? There's usually a sweet spot for different, and every glue is different. And so I kind of feel like even though you have really high humidity, if you keep your room super air conditioned, you have to kind of look at that because your high humidity glue that you're using is probably for higher temperatures as well.
Exactly.
So if that's the case and you're having really crappy humidity, switch to something that has a better temperature for the room that you're using in. Does that make sense?
Right. No, it makes perfect sense. I know. Yeah. I see it all the time on like Facebook forums. You have girls who don't really know what they're doing. They're like, guys, recommend me a really good glue. And so everyone's spitting out their favorite glue at, whatever from whatever brand. And then they're like, oh no, this one sucked. I can't believe that one didn't work for me. Or this one didn't, it's like, wait a minute. You've got different issues and they each have different formulas. Like you said, the cyanoacrylate, there's like 5 different cyanoacrylates compounds. And so, they work differently in different environments, and it's not the best thing for everybody.
Yep. And there's not one, and I get told this a lot. They're like, well, what glue, what's your favorite glue? And I was like, it kind of depends on the day. It depends on my room temperature, my environment. If I'm feeling slow, then maybe I'll go with a slower glue. If I'm feeling like super fast, I'll use my 0.5-second glue.
Right.
I don't think there's a magic bullet glue out there that's the holy grail that's good for every single person.
Exactly.
I don't believe that. And I think too, there is lots of claims out there from other manufacturers saying, like, you don't have to do this, you don't have to what, it works no matter what, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's kind of a dangerous statement.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
again, you can see the complaints about that glue as well. And I'm like, it does really, I want people to kind of read the temperature more in the room, not necessarily outside. I don't care if you live in a hot place. My thing is inside, right? That's where
Yeah,
you're
of
doing your
course.
work. That's where you want to like start focusing your temperature on. That's what you should be looking at right by your client's head, not outside, not in your car, in your area that you're working. That's what you're paying attention to.
Exactly. I completely, I know when you said that, when you're on stage, I was like, thank you. Like
Light
freaking
bulb moment.
finally someone says it. Anyway, thank you for that. So here's my little follow-up question for that. You also talked about, I kind of want people to know about, it's the, actually someone's asking a question. Let's see. Oh, hi guys, everyone, people are saying hi. Let me throw up this question from, oh my gosh, it doesn't say who, a Facebook user. This is so weird. It doesn't say who it's from, but it says better temperature is 20 to 23. Is this degrees Celsius?
For most, yes. So for most glues, she's probably from Canada. So most glues, yes. That's actually, I think 20 to 22 is usually the range for most glues. I'd say probably like 70-80% of the glues out there. But
Okay.
there are going to be some glues that actually, like, we sell a Lolita and she does better in 23 to 28 degrees, which is hot. That's like you're sweating at that point. 28. And I've lashed, my air conditioner broke and I actually lashed in 28, which is very high.
Oh my God.
And then we also sell a glue for lower temperature as well. So just make sure that whatever, because that is a pretty standard temperature for most glues. However, I have used some glues in 23 and it's been too hot. And I have used some glues in 20 and it's been too cold. So definitely look at the recommendations from your glue manufacturer for sure.
Right.
And if they can't tell you, it kind of makes me a little upset when they don't know their temperature or humidity ranges. They should be able to provide you that information so that you have the proper working environment for that
Right.
glue.
And every brand, I mean, every lash brand out there should have an MS
110%.
yes for their run, because that means they haven't done it before. So that's my opinion on that. Another question here that we have is 86 degrees Houston. So 86 degrees, that's pretty dang hot.
Yeah.
To be doing your lashes in. So right now where I'm in Phoenix, and currently the temperature outside is in the high, I guess the high 80s, low 90s right now. So we're kind of in the same thing in Houston, but you guys are a lot more humid on the outside. So you're probably tracking a lot of humidity whenever you open up the door to your clients.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, your glue, gosh, I wish this thing would show me who this user is or the Facebook person is, so I can say your name. I'll get that fixed. I think it's Keisha. Keisha, there you go. I would recommend for you is testing out different glues that, like Trish said, that range in different humidity levels. Like there's lots of brands out there. If one really works at a higher humidity level, but you're keeping your place pretty nice and cool, I think that might help you a little bit. If I just said that right? Yeah. So it just really depends. So we keep ours at a nice 74 degrees at the studio, and that kind of gets in here kind of chilly. And sometimes the girls either put it up one notch or down one notch. They know they don't have to change the temperature that much for the glue to help them and start working with that. So it really all just depends. So play with your, like Trish said, play with your temperature on how you feel like when you walk in.
100%.
So exactly. So I love that. Thank you guys for your questions. I love it. And I can actually post your guys' questions onto the feed, and I love being able to watch that. So that's great.
Yeah, I love it.
Another awesome question I was going to ask you here, Trish, is you had talked about porosity. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So please, for a lot of people don't know what this is. Explain, what is porosity?
So if you think about it, it's kind of a big word, but it basically comes down to, if you think about pores, right? The pores on your skin, they're like little lumps and grooves and bumps. Our hair has
Yeah,
kind of the same thing. So some people have very low porosity, so their hair is very smooth and almost kind of glass-like, right? And then some
right.
people have high porosity hair, which means very porous surface, right? So it has lots of the cuticle layer of the hair has lots of lumps and bumps in it, right? It's not so smooth. And a lot more people with, if they have naturally curly hair, generally gravitate, they have generally more porous hair, right? So it needs a lot more moisture because it absorbs a lot of moisture, but it evaporates out so easily from those big porous, from those big porous bumps in the hair, right?
Yeah.
So it evaporates really fast. So the hair usually gets really dry. So somebody who's super naturally curly, very porous hair, it's usually dry. They need a lot more oils. They need a lot more humectants, stuff like that to draw the moisture in. Our lashes, a lot of people think of them as how long are they, how strong are they, how thick they are. We kind of forget about the porosity factor. Most people, not all, probably about 75, 80%, their texture of their hair matches the texture of their lashes. Not in all cases. Some people have curly hair and really slick, smooth lashes, but for the most part, most people kind of have those really, if they have like that glass hair. I have a lady that she's Japanese and American, her parents, and she's gorgeous. She's got this Japanese hair that is thick but very, like, it's like glass. It's so smooth. And you
Yeah.
know what? I went to go put lashes on her. It was like, shoo, it was like
Yep.
it slid right off.
Yes, and you know what? That was one of the things people don't know is that cyanoacrylate actually does not bond to smooth surfaces. It actually says that in the cyanoacrylate, like if you go read and do your research, it does not apply and bond well to smooth surfaces. So
No,
that's
it
the
just
hard
goes.
to find.
You're
Yeah,
like, whoa.
that's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So what did you do for her?
So for her, I do this for every one of my clients, and I think it's a very good habit for everyone to get into. It's very easy to do. I actually wash my clients' lashes right at the table. I have one of those tattoo squirt bottles, and it's always full of like nice warm water, and I change it before every
Yes.
client. Right?
Yep. I think,
So
yep.
yep. So this is my thing. I wash because,
Yes.
oh,
I have one.
exactly.
I
My
know.
girl,
Yeah, we
you
got
have
them.
my heart. So you want to be making it a habit of washing their lashes beforehand, but rinsing with warm water, because everybody has washed their hands when they're dirty with soap and then cold water, and you almost have this like residue of soap and your hands are still dirty. So that's kind of what we're doing
Yeah.
to our clients' lashes when we don't actually rinse with warm water. So I kind of rinse with like extra warm water, not hot, not burning her, but extra warm to kind of open up those cuticles a little bit and give me a little bit more grab. The other thing you can do, if that doesn't quite work for you and you're having some problems, there's I'm not a big primer user. Actually, in fact, I only have one client that I use it on. I'm not sure I'm supposed to say that or not. A lot of companies get really mad when I
It's
say that, but
okay. I think it's okay. I think it depends on certain people.
it does. I've actually I used to use it a lot in the start of my career because 4 or 5 years ago you were taught to use primer on everybody, and I felt like when I stopped using it, my retention was better, and that's where we live. But I live northern Alberta. It's very dry here. Um, and so I was basically drying out their lashes even more, right? So of course they
Right.
become brittle. Your bonds become brittle. So I'm not saying primer shouldn't be used at all, but I just don't use it because of where I live. So I use a little bit of primer on her lashes though, and it kind of roughens up that cuticle and gets it ready for that, for the adhesive and the lash. It kind of gives you a little bit more grip.
Right. A little, yeah. You
Yeah.
make it kind of rough course, I guess, is kind of the
Yeah.
hair follicles. You lift up those little hair,
Yeah.
they look like scales if you
The
like really
cuticles.
zoom
Yeah.
in. They
Yeah. The
look like
cuticles kind of
scales.
start. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. I love that. Now I have a here just sent a question about adhesive. I'd like to see if we can answer that for her. She says, um, let's see, isn't the viscosity of adhesive a factor for how long the lash bonds for?
Um, no. I hate saying that. It is a
I was
factor.
gonna say no.
It is a factor, but it's not what I generally look for, because it could be speed too, right? There's a lot of people that are like, okay, the bond is 4 weeks, or the bond is like 14 weeks or something like that, right? So you always see like bonding times for different ones. And honestly, I've tried out adhesives that are really, really thin, that have that their bond time is about 4 weeks. And I've tried out really adhesives that have really that are really super thick, and they've lasted for 4 weeks as well. So I also kind of think it also depends on how fast you're getting to the lash. A lot of people that use a really thin adhesive, you have to be really fast getting that to the lash, because
Oh
it's
yeah.
thin. It's usually going to dry super fast, which is great for us like mega volume girls, right? We want it to dry super fast. A lot of the times though, and this, a lot of people confuse this. In classic lashes, I almost feel like if you're only dipping 2 to 4 millimeters and coming out with no bead or anything, which is the way that you're supposed to, and you apply it to the lash, sometimes if you're using a thin viscosity, it literally, there's hardly any glue on there. It usually dries before it actually gets there. And I
Right.
think that's a lot of people that use a really thin adhesive for classics will find their retention sucks. And I'm like, it's kind of crappy to say, but you should probably either dip more adhesive, which I hate saying that because gross, or switch to something
Means
that's a
like
little
get
bit
sticky.
thicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just going to be a little bit thicker, give you a little bit more wiggle room to get it on. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay,
I hope that makes sense to our Facebook friend here. So hopefully that answers your question. So like Trish said, I really don't think, I mean, from what I've seen of lashes and the viscosity and testing out adhesive, I really don't think the viscosity is a big issue. Like it depends on how well you use it pretty much. And I wouldn't factor that in into it. So let's see. I think that's pretty much who will have asked all the questions. If you guys have further questions for us, please let us know. Again, I'm here interviewing Trish Van Duinen from Black Cat Lashes out in Alberta. You're so amazing. I just love you. I can't wait to see you.
I love you too.
I can't wait. Like seriously, I seriously can't wait till April 2020 when everyone comes together and it's going to be awesome.
We are going to blow it up.
Heck,
we are going to blow it up.
It's going to be
so. Good. This one, I am going to. How much time do we have up on stage to like presentate to our girls?
So 30 minutes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try to get the most information I possibly can get to them in 30 minutes. I'm going to just
and I'm sure you will because and you just make it so engaging and so funny with your personality and the way you are. So I'm really, really happy for people to come and see you and be up there and actually listen to you talk, because I think it's really important to know, like, we go to a lot of trainings, people learn a lot of techniques, and you hear people say, no, the fan has to be perfect, or, oh no, it can be a messy, or, oh no, it's like, who did that post? I thought somebody just did a post about.
It was amazing. I saw that post and I forget who it was, but I thought it was incredible. And I feel like,
is it the Lashpreneur?
Yes.
There was a Lashpreneur. She just posted. Thank you, honey. I'm gonna give her credit. She just posted up something yesterday, and I commented because it had to do with you guys. There is no right or wrong way when it comes to lashing the perfect fan, making the perfect fan or lash, or putting that onto your client. There is no right or wrong way. It's just what someone had come up with and decided to call it volume lashes, or to call it a 3D fan, or whatever it is. Her post was really good. So if you go onto her Instagram, see that post, and Tara for posting that, because I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, me too. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And it's so true, because I feel like, 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago, it was like, if you took a volume course, this was how you did it. There wasn't a lot of like give, or like, nobody was really kind of looking at their student at that time, I felt, and went, okay, you're a working lash artist. This is probably what I should be teaching you. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't feel like people, there was some, but there wasn't a whole lot of people kind of teaching like that. And now it's like, now the lash girls coming into the industry now are so freaking lucky. They're so lucky. Lashing has come such a long way, and it's such an expression of art now, instead of this crazy, like, you need to do it this way, if not it's crap. There's a totally different way of doing it. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. And I'm sure in a 1 year or even 2 years, there's going to be something completely new and just out there. It's going to be amazing. We do have another question though. What is the highest thickness of a lash extension that your company carries? Are you talking? Okay, I think this is for you, Trish.
Yeah, so we carry 0.18, but we are actually slowly discontinuing it. We started carrying 0.8 about 2 years ago, and it's not that I'm against 0.18. I just feel like there's a lot of people who don't use them properly, and they are quite thick. And I feel like um, I rarely use them because they are so thick. And if I do, it's usually on strong held. It's people with like Armenian lashes, just beautiful lashes.
Yes.
And a lot of the time, if I do go that thick, I go really short. So I'll do like 0.18, millimeters, and I'll do it in 8 millimeters just to kind of like fill in after I've done some length in like 0.15s. I'll actually go in and fill with 0.18s, just tiny little guys around there. But yeah, we are slowly discontinuing them. We haven't reordered, so we still have mostly full stock in 0.18. But like I said, I don't know for how much long.
Right. Yeah, and we carry here at Lashes del Sol and at Hygge. We discontinued ours too, way
Yeah.
back in the day. And we're now at just at 0.15.
Yeah.
So we just go. That's our thickest, and we don't go any thicker. And we love the illusion of our flat lashes because that gives the illusion that they're thicker when they're really not.
Yeah, I was gonna say flat lashes all the way. Flat lashes are incredible.
Oh yeah, that's all we use. We stopped ordering. We actually don't even order any more regular classic lashes. It's all flats, and then our volumes and everything like that. So it's pretty. I love them. We love them.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. So let me see. So thank you for that question, hun. I don't think we have any more questions. I don't know, Trish. I kind of wanted to, I guess, get your insight a little bit on one more thing before we wrap up here. I don't want to take again too much people's time or your time. I know you're busy. Oh my God, you've been lashing all day, haven't you?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and you just did a waxing before you got on. That's why we're a little bit late in going this live because you were finishing up a client.
Yeah, I'm a working lash artist.
Perfect.
Working lash artist.
And you have to be. You have to be to know what the freak you're talking about because some people just don't know. So
yeah,
I love it.
I think to stay current.
Yes, stay current. And you know what's funny is that people don't know. I actually don't do lashes. Surprise! I don't do lashes professionally. I don't. I know how to do them. I know how to apply them. I do a lot of the back end for the business. So I here at Lashes del Sol, I do all the. I have lots of feathers in my hat. So I do all the marketing, the social media. I deal with all the training. The training material, everything. So I'm really heavily involved in the knowledge of lashes, theoretical, and everything. It's very much in me. I practice hands-on, and then I have to like pick at your brains. And so this is why I love interviewing people and talking to people because I love getting your insight on what it is that you see and what you've experienced.
Yes.
So thank you for that. I wanted to let people know one more thing. A couple more things. Can you give me insight on the thermo or the exothermal reaction that happens to glue when it comes in contact with a natural material like cotton, fiber, and leather?
Is this not crazy how many people don't teach us in courses? This is for me. I feel like this is like, if you're planning on teaching or if you're a student, please, please, please know that cyanoacrylate actually it burns. It heats up and it burns when it comes into contact with like linty things, like fibers of cotton. So cotton swabs, cotton pads, some paper towels, Kleenexes. Yeah, and if you get enough on your skin, it can actually burn. So I actually cracked the top off of one of my glues that I was testing out and didn't notice that I had cracked the top. And when I went to go pour it, it actually poured all down my hand and on my leg. I actually burnt my leg because my pants obviously had lint on them. They were linty and they were cotton, burnt my leg. So a lot of people, they want to wash the lashes and then do cotton pads. Please don't, because it leaves lint behind. And that even a bit of lint can actually cause a burn on your client's eyes. So stay away from all of that stuff.
Exactly. And it's not just a burn. It's also, I mean, yes, it burns, the actual skin, but it gives off a white smoke when it is actually burning. And that white smoke, if it's in the eye and it comes in contact, like you said, with that lint or cotton fiber, that smoke is so much stronger and can go into the eye easily than, let's just say, the fumes naturally if the fiber's not there. So it's pretty dangerous when you think about it in that way. So yeah, like you said, don't use cotton when you're cleaning the lashes prior. Like maybe use it when you're removing. But that's why we always tell our girls to do our micro swaps.
Oh, and the other thing, because I also do waxing and tinting and lifting and stuff, you know, we use a lot of cotton pads in those services, and then we throw them in the garbage. And then I went to go burp my glue, so bleb, like just kind of get that extra bleb out. It was kind of stuck in the nozzle, and I did it in the trash can, closed the trash can, thinking everything was fine, and the white smoke was coming up. I actually started a mini garbage fire, so please don't do that.
Oh no!
Just be aware.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So I'm gonna ask you, a user here, Facebook. Hi guys, hi everyone. You guys, I see a couple questions here. Again, I'm here with Trish. Let's see. Someone asked, so is cyanoacrylate an acid? No, it's not actually.
No, but the companies actually put an acid in with the adhesive. And it's not like a crazy acid. Like you'll see, oh God, what is it? It starts with an. They'll put like there's different names for different acids that they'll put in. And it's not as much as it once was. I know like the old formulas for about 10, 15 years ago, there used to be a heavy acid content in it. Obviously nothing that's really going to like burn your eyes or anything, but they used to put it in because, so when you open your bottle, a little bit of humidity gets in every time because there's humidity in the air, right? So a little bit of humidity gets in. So it was basically coming out in blobs. So basically to help that out, they put an acid in the bottle to help, because the acid acts kind of like a bouncer. He like says, don't hug each other, stop, don't touch each other, right? And all these cyanoacrylate molecules really want to hug. They want to, dance with each other and hug. So the acid is like the security system. Like, no, don't touch. And so the second your adhesive touches something that's basic, so on the other side of acidic, or a little bit even neutral, it neutralizes the acid and then it starts to cure. Does that make sense?
Oh, perfectly. I hope that made sense to our user too, our Facebook friend.
A lot of people.
I thought you said it beautifully. You said it so nice. I loved your analogy. It was perfect. Yeah. So it really is. She's just said, she's like, I guess it would be your baby then. And yes, it is. You treat your glue as your baby. And one really crazy thing about the cyanoacrylate, there's quite a few different compounds for cyanoacrylate, for you guys don't know. But the ones that used in the medical field, I mean, they're used in all different fields, I mean, woodwork, the aquamarines, everything like that. Like they're used everywhere in every industry, electronics. But in the medical field, the three compounds that are used for medical Band-Aids, like the liquid Band-Aids, that are okay to use on the skin, and they have their formulas, is actually the 2-octyl, which is like the Dermabond, and Surgiseal use 2-octyl. N-butyl is used with like Glue Stitch and Liquiband brands. And then there's the girl. Oh girl, I do my research. I tell you, I know my stuff. So, and then the ethyl 2 is actually used in Epiglue, which is another one that is used just mainly in the medical field. They mainly have it in like surgeries and things like that. And it's like a whole little thing that they have it in packages. They break it apart. Like it's new, brand new every single time. So it really is, it's not an acid, and everyone has their different formulas of the cyanoacrylate. So definitely, guys, these are great questions. And like I said, you need to you don't learn this stuff. And that's why I wanted to talk to Trish about this and bring this to you guys, because this is not like some people feel, I feel like this is not something you need to pay for. This is something that should be shared and known. Yep. So, yep, that's just, you me, girl. Okay.
You me. The geeks.
Exactly. I know, right? Like you're a veterinarian, right? You're in the vet clinic. I'm actually my bachelor's was in electronic engineering. So I'm a complete geek. I'm a complete nerd. I love all that stuff. Like, I'm all for it. So anyway, um, also, I guess I wanted to spit out one more little fact before we actually go, and I let Trish go here if anyone doesn't have any other questions. Is I wanted to talk to you guys about the ACGIH. I don't know if you know what that is. That's I can never remember. The American Conference for Governmental Industrial Hygienics. I know, long word. Okay.
Sweet.
They actually came out with a statement saying that the threshold limit for cyanoacrylate for it to be over 200 parts per million or per billion, no, per million, per billion. Sorry, and which pretty much equates to it being irrelevant and safe to be used on people, or not necessarily on people, but in the medical field or in any other industry field, because there is no singular way, there's no singular measurement of toxicity for all cyanoacrylates because of the large amounts of adhesive brands out there. I don't know how that is. So there's so many adhesives that contain cyanoacrylate that they can't actually quantify and measure the toxicity level for each one. Yeah. So what they've just broadened it and said the limit is 200 parts per billion, and that's it. But the thing is that cyanoacrylate doesn't ever reach that much. So you're pretty good. There are other chemicals that we come in contact with every day. There are a lot higher ppms or ppms than that. So I don't want people to feel scared when
I just mask up. I mask up.
That too.
I wear a mask, and then it's like you're covered. You know?
Yeah, you're pretty covered. I know some people want to wear the big, like
the respirators.
Yeah, like the.
I don't go that far.
I don't think it's necessary. Everyone, there's about a 5% chance, or 5% of the population is pretty sensitive to it.
Yeah.
So there's always that, but I don't know if you want to share your thoughts on that, Trish.
I am a stickler for better safe than sorry. So, lashing has been around for a long time. You've been in the industry for a long time. And I feel like the adhesive formulas are changing, especially in the last 4 or 5 years when volume and mega volume started kind of coming in. We couldn't use those really slow drying adhesives. And so a lot of the chemists were adding polymethyl acrylates and stuff like that. Like they're speeding up agents. So they're agents that actually like make the glue dry. Some of those are really dangerous. And they put standards on how much can actually be in a bottle. And like you said, there is different formulas of the glue. So, one might have 50% cyanoacrylate and one might have 2%, right? So, in the same company might make 2 different glues like that, right? So we really don't know. My thing is I would rather be safe than sorry. So I do mask up. I do tell people to mask up. I've had nosebleeds from it, so I'm part of the population that is sensitive to them. I have chemical asthma, and I have had nosebleeds. I also, for my MRIs, have nasal thickening as well. So my sinuses are actually thickening from it. So I err on the side of caution, and most of the time, honestly, it's probably fine. But I wouldn't want to tell a student, yeah, it's okay, breathe it in all day long in your little tiny room, and then them have issues down the line. You know what I mean? I'm always like, just wear a mask, have a good ventilated area, and also too, this is kind of it's usually a touchy subject, especially when I bring it up at conferences. But if my client is pregnant, I get them usually to wear a mask. If they're coming in all the time for fills, I'm like, wear a mask. And it's not like a dental mask. It's actually like, it's rated an N95 or higher. So that's a particular rating of how many particulates it actually filters out. So it's 95%. And there's Vogue masks out there that I think are 99%, stuff like that. But I'm just like, better safe than sorry. Especially these babies, they're like 18, 19, and they're getting into the field. And I'm like, I want them to be lashing for a long time, for as long as they want to, right? So it's like, stay healthy, just in case,
Right. Yeah. I love it. Thank you. And so you said, so people still don't know, say the name of the mask again. in case they want to go for that. I think you can buy it on Amazon. They have everything on Amazon.
Exactly. N95, I'm a fan of the Moldex ones that they make just because they're a little bit more flexible and they don't sit right up against your lips. So they're like a bubble so you can actually talk and wear lipstick.
Okay.
That's
Perfect.
important to me.
And then you look good when you take it off.
Yeah, you take it off, you're like, hi.
Cute. Okay, perfect. I love that. Thank you for sharing that information with us, Trish. If there are no more questions I don't think I have any other questions from our guests who are listening. So thank you guys for joining us. Again, go to Trish's Instagram page, check out her website. It's Black Cat Lashes. She's so fun. I love it. And if you guys have more questions for us, write your questions in the comments below. We'll go back and answer ones that we didn't get to and try to answer that as best we can. Follow us again. She is Black Cat Lashes on Instagram. I am Hygge Beauty Co. and Lashes del Sol. And again, meet us next year, actually at the conference. But I will be back with you guys in 2 more days interviewing TB. You know TB, Trish.
Oh, I love TB.
I know. She's so great. We're going to be talking about competitions in our next live. So in about 2 days in the evening, we're going to talk with her and go live. She's in Japan right now doing judging competitions. So she's a busy bee. But anyway, thank you again, Trish, for joining us. And everyone, thank you again. Ask questions because that way we know kind of what you guys want to hear for future interviews, because I will be interviewing our speakers as they come on to get some topics and ideas for you, what you guys want to hear from them. So again, thank you again. Thanks, Trish. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Have a good night.
You too. Bye, hun.
Okay. Bye.